Hey, what's up? Just wanted to jump on here and do a quick live with you guys. I had one of my students earlier today ask me if I use sample packs at all. And this is something that's come up more than once. I actually had another student of mine who was in class, and he was telling me about how people were like dogging him for using sample packs and loops and stuff in his music. And it was interesting conversation. And it's an interesting question that I get from people sometimes. And so I just figured I'd bring this up today and ask you the question, do you like sample packs? Do you hate sample packs? Where do you get your sounds from? And just also to share a little bit about my perspective on sample packs and loops and sound libraries and things like that. Just from my own experience, like I actually started back in like 2002-ish. I was sampling other people's music. Like that's how I got sounds, was borrowing sounds and samples from other people's music and other sample packs, anything, anywhere I could get sounds, like stock sounds that were just in the software that I was using or whatever I happened to be using. So personally, I'm a fan of using sample packs. I think they're great, especially when you're starting out, because especially now, having gone through and created my own virtual instruments and having created samples and sample packs and things like that, there's a lot of time and effort that's involved into that. And yes, it's great because you can create your own sound, which is awesome. But at the same time, if you're just getting started out with this stuff, there's enough to learn between music theory and programming and mixing, mastering, all those different things that go into creating a song nowadays, that if you can just grab a sample pack and put together a song, to me it's an early win. And it's how I was making music early on with mashups and remixes and stuff. And so I think that's what kind of kept me interested in doing it, was that I had access to sounds and I could make something with those. And then as the years went on, I progressively got deeper into it. So I think sample packs are great. And there's a lot of amazing companies that are out there right now who have a ton of sounds and samples that you can get stuff from. And there's even tons of resources. Like one that I mention to people all the time is Converse Sample Library. And if you go to their website, conversesamplelibrary.com, I believe, they actually have a recording studio where they bring people in and they record them. And anybody that records at that studio, they know automatically going into it that their music and their sounds are going to be put up online into this library where people can download it for free and use it for free. So if you go to their website, you can actually get access to some really amazing sounds and sample packs just from that website alone. And then you also have people like Cymatics and Splice. You have Loopmasters, Samplephonics. A personal favorite of mine is Noise. An interesting thing is Noise actually recently wrote a blog post on their website about how they kind of got started into the game or the business of creating samples and sound libraries for people. So that's something worth checking out too. So just wanted to share that really quick with you. That's my take on samples and sample packs. I think there's a lot of great resources out there. I think it's great to use. However, the downside to it is that if you solely rely on sample packs to make music, at some point you may come across a time where people, you're in the studio or people ask you to do something and you might not know how to do it. And at that point, that just becomes, it just might make you feel like you look stupid for not knowing how to do certain things in the studio. And so, learning things like music theory and learning how to, do some sound design stuff does make you a little bit more useful, and it opens up some new creative avenues for you. But for the most part, nowadays, I think starting off with sample packs is great. I think it's a great way to go to make music, right? And so that's my take on it. And it's definitely not saying to shy away from sound design and any of that other stuff. I think learning those two just make you a lot more versatile and make you a lot more useful in that creative environment when people are looking to make things happen and they want their ideas to be expressed. Then if all you know how to do is reach for a sample pack and your sample pack doesn't have that sound or that idea that needs to be expressed, then then that thought doesn't get brought out, and people may not be happy with the track. So there's positive and negatives to it, but I still do think that sample packs are great. I still use them a lot. I still use different samples. I think it's great sometimes grabbing loop ideas from other people, because it takes a lot of time and energy to book studio time and bring in a player, and have them play and then record it, and then you have to mix it, master it, and all that stuff for yourself. So doing all that stuff is very time consuming, and sometimes when I'm in the creative process, just being able to kind of reach out and grab something that is a cool idea that some instrumentalist played, and maybe they can play something that I'm not able to, like I don't play guitar, so if I can grab something cool, that's some guitar riff that somebody played, and put it in my music because it sounds good there, I think that's awesome. So that's my take on sample packs. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Where do you get your sounds from? Do you use sample packs? If so, which ones? Anything that you find particularly useful? So yeah, drop a comment below. Let me know what you're up to. And I'd love to hear your input on this. All right, so that's my time for today, and I'll talk to you again soon. All right, and I should mention that I do want to do a challenge coming up, but I may have to push that back. I've got some other things coming up in this next week or so. I do have another big announcement for you guys, and that's going to be coming up really soon. So stay tuned for that. I will post more a little bit later. All right, so hopefully you had a good day. Let's make it fun, make some music today, and have a great week. All right, talk to you soon.